Hey guys, thanks for joining in. You joined Cassie's Corner. I am Cassie. I am here to talk about depressive and anxiety behaviors through controlling your mind, and it can happen because it happened to me. It didn't take overnight. I'm not a professional in anything but a housewife. I'm not in the medical field, though I have studied medicine for quite some time. Where was I going? So I can't professionally tell you what to do. I can tell you what worked for me, or I can give you suggestions, and that's all I can do. We learned yesterday in our Stoic book, and I'll go ahead and I'll show it again just in case, because this is really an interesting book to read over. And when you're kind of depressed, I don't want to be assumptuous in saying that you can read something and just snap out of it. That's not how it works. You really have to train your mind. You have to work. It is a work in progress. It's kind of like being, and I don't like to compare it to such, but it's kind of like being an alcoholic or a drug addict. Your mind has to be reconditioned, and you have to want to have your mind reconditioned. You have to constantly remind yourself of who you are and what you stand for. And so it's not like you can read things or hear things from me and everything's going to be okay. What I'm trying to do is just offer you the chance to see that it can be done. You are talking to a person, you are seeing a person, you are witnessing a person, watching a video of a person who hates for their face to be seen, who probably walked around like this for about, I didn't want anyone to see me, for about, I want to say about 10 years. I just didn't, or I looked down at the floor, or, I wouldn't acknowledge anyone. I stayed in the bed. I wore the least attractive clothes. I didn't want anyone to look at me whatsoever. If someone looked at me, I took it offensively. And people are going to look. Whether you're attractive or not, people are going to look. Everybody's going to look at you. And it's not what you think. They're not judging you. They're just, curious. Everybody is different. Everybody looks. I took it as I have a big nose. I always said I had a really big nose. My grandma used to pick on me about my nose. So I was like, yeah, they're just trying to figure out what I am. But, why is everybody staring at me? And my kids would be like, because you're beautiful? No, not really. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so who knew? Who knows? Who knows? My dogs were looking at me like I'm crazy. And it's okay, because, they're dogs. You walk on all four legs. Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy? So we are on day 16 of the Stoic book, the Daily Stoic, and we are going to learn from, I've never seen this name before, I promise. And I'm going to try to say it as correct as I can. I can't promise you anything. Musonius Rufus, and this is from his lectures. I'm assuming, so we're going to see what positive things and grown-up things he has to say to help us get our mind right. Because these were like ancient gods, not even ancient gods, like ancient emperors, Greek emperors, Roman emperors, that had this system, this theory, which is Stoicism, and it would help them ease their mind, live in peace, and deal with their enemies or somebody that was against them in such a way that nobody was ever riled up in anger. It was peaceful. It was, they never got angry. And I believe in my heart that this is biblically sound, because I know that Jesus walked the earth and he walked with the sinners and the prostitutes and the gamblers and the things like that, the lepers. And he didn't get angry at them, and he wasn't shouting, and he wasn't, listen to me, he wasn't like that. He just said what he had to say, and if there was a lesson to be taught, he was really calm about it. I just don't see, could you imagine, even though Jesus was perfect, that's the that is a conundrum right there. He was perfect to begin with. But could you imagine him just up there shouting, would you listen to me, get angry? No, So we're trying to be as Christ-like as we can, and I think that this stoicism helps us to see in our minds where we can think differently, and we don't have to get so riled up over the silly stuff that everybody else says. I used to get riled up and mad at everything anybody said about me, especially if they, mentioned depression or talking about how I mother my kids or whatever. Don't come at me with that. Just don't, But now I'm like, it's constructive criticism. It wasn't, nobody was trying to hurt me. Nobody was back there thinking, let's see how we can get to her today. It just wasn't working that way. It's not working that way. So, Musonius Rufus says never do anything out of habit. Oops. I do everything out of habit. So here we go. So in the majority of other things, we address circumstances not in accordance with right assumptions, but mostly by following a wretched habit. Since all that I've said is the case, the person in training must seek to rise above, so as to stop seeking our pleasure and steering away from pain, to stop clinging to living in a boring death, and in the case of property or money, to stop valuing receiving over giving. Wow. Okay. A worker is asked, "What did you do? Why did you do it this way?" The answer, because that's the way we've always done things. The answer frustrates every good boss and sets the mouth of every entrepreneur watering. The worker has stopped thinking and is mindlessly operating out of habit. The business is ripe for disruption by a competitor, and the worker will probably get fired by any thinking boss. We should apply the same ruthlessness to our own habits. In fact, we are studying philosophy precisely to break ourselves of rote behavior. Find what you do out of rote memory or routine. Ask yourself, is this really the best way to do it? Know why you do what you do, and do it for the right reasons. So everything that my grandmother taught me in washing dishes, washing clothes, sweeping, mopping floors, things of that nature, I do it out of habit, and I don't mean to. Is there a better way for me? Is there an easier way? I've never stopped to think of it, because it's just something I've always done. It's easy that way. It's we're comfortable in that way, getting up and doing things the way we were always taught to do. I had she was a sister-in-law, actually. She had become a sister-in-law later. She would always tell me to do things differently. I was 18, 19. She would always come to the house and do things differently. And I'm like, why? And she would be like, it's just easier. It's easier. And I never understood how she thought it would be easier. It was easier to do it the way I knew it. I knew how to do it, but she was different. She always thought outside the box, and I didn't follow. I didn't follow her memo. I just didn't get it. But now I do. She had a different way of doing things, and it was easy for her. So, and if I had assumed her take on it and challenged myself to do it differently, I probably. It takes a creative person to think outside the box and do things differently and not out of habit. And there are a lot of things I do out of habit. Now I have to reassess why I do it and try to see if I can do something different. Try to see if I can, the one habit that I do have, I'm not letting go of, is I do wake up and I'm grateful every morning that I am awake. I'm grateful that I walk, and, I'm grateful that I can think. I'm grateful that I can breathe. So I'm very grateful every morning. And we have to do that. We have to find something that we're grateful for every day, because gratefulness is just, it is the most positive thing you can have in your heart. So I am grateful every morning. I thank God every day that I am awake and walking and breathing. And sometimes I'm like, the dogs are trying to wake me up, and I'm like, I don't want to get up. But after I get up and get my brain together, I'm quite grateful for the things that I have, or I'm alive. I have children. I have grandchildren. They're all safe. We've come through a lot as a family, and I'm grateful that our struggles did not cause our demise. I'm grateful that our struggles are not ongoing. I'm grateful. I'm just a grateful person. And the more you're grateful about, they have notebooks. You can get a notebook, just a plain notebook, and they say to write things that you're grateful for down. Now, after about the 100th one, I kind of felt like, I know what I'm grateful for. I kind of got in the habit of saying, okay, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this. So if you have a hard time finding things that you're grateful for, find you a notebook or find you some pieces of paper or something and start writing down the things that you're grateful for. Try to write down, 2 or 3 a day, and then go up to 5, and then, let's see how many things you're really, really grateful for. Are you grateful for that wonderful, wonderful outfit that you love to wear out and kind of impress everybody? Are you grateful for your cars? Are you grateful for your parents still being alive? Or, you have all your siblings together. I do have all my siblings. Except for one, I did have a stepsister. She died from metastatic breast cancer when she was only 38 years old. So that kind of shocked us. I don't have my parents as of November of last year. My dad passed away due to his diabetic, but I was grateful that I got them for as long as I did. I was grateful that when he passed away, it was close to him having dementia. He was starting to lose his mind a little bit. And my brother even said, I'm grateful that it wasn't a situation, because he lived in a different city. He lived at least 3 hours away from my brother and an hour and a half away from me. So I was I'm glad that he passed away when he did, and not, further, not in a home, not where we would have to travel back and forth to see him. I didn't get to see him in his last years. I really didn't get to see him when he was struggling. So I'm grateful for that, because I don't know that I could have handled it. I don't know. I've known my dad always to be a strong person. So a strong, young acting person. And I'm glad I saw him in the last days, when I did get to see him, and he was of his own mind. So, see, there's so much to be grateful for. I'm grateful for the leaves. I'm grateful for the trees. We live in an area where it's all wooded, and they kind of have hunting grounds and things like that around, but they're developing houses, and they're cutting down trees a lot, and it's starting to really make me mad when everybody's cutting down their trees, because we need the trees to breathe. And without the trees, we don't have clean air. That kind of makes me mad. Why are you always trying to upset the woods when the animals need them to live? And again, we need the trees. We need the foliage for the carbon. So there I am, getting mad at people developing houses and doing away with the wildlife. It makes me mad. When I see wooded areas, things like that, that kind of makes me grateful. Makes me really grateful for the animals, for the air, for the, things we do have. Because you don't see them anymore. I'm really grateful. We used to live by a dirt road. When I first moved here, the first 10 years, we had a dirt road in this area. And I hadn't seen a dirt road in years. But there was a dirt road here, and they finally paved it, and it kind of made me mad, because I was like, we don't have dirt roads anymore, unless you go, somewhere where there's not so much traffic, I guess. I don't know. In South Georgia, we had dirt roads everywhere, and then we come up here, and there's no dirt roads. And then the one time I find a dirt road, they decide to pave it. It's just my luck. So, never do anything out of habit is what Stoic says. Try to challenge yourself. Challenge how you do it. Challenge why you do it. Challenge it's not a shame to challenge anything, even if it's something your mom did or something your great-grandma did. Challenge it. Find out why you do it. Find out what's easier. Find out what's better. Find out, and I'm not saying be lazy to find, no. Don't find out of a lazy situation. Find out if there is a better situation. Just if there's a better situation. Just if there's a better way to do things. So we can never do anything out of habit, and that just messes up my whole world. Not really. I'll work through it. I will work through it. How's everybody doing? We have a beautiful day outside. It's kind of cold. It's 42. But I hope the weather finds you where you're most desirable. You know, if you have rain, enjoy the rain. You can't have flowers for the rain. If you have cold weather, well, we're in January, so we're supposed to have cold weather. It can't be tropical all the time. If you have snow, I'm sorry. I don't like the snow. I don't like... my daughter said when she lived in Colorado that they had snow, but it wasn't so cold as it is here because we're more humid here. So it's kind of a wet snow. Over there, it's more of a dry snow. It's not as cold as you would think it would be, but she enjoyed Colorado more than she enjoyed Georgia. I keep thinking she's going to go back. Who knows? So sometimes the snow can be good, enjoyable, dry snow. It could be good. And then you have Georgia snow, which is not good. It's just not good. I hope that everybody finds something to be grateful for. What is my dog looking at? She's sitting there just looking at a bag. I have a bag on the floor over here. It's full of... She's just looking at the bag. Like... Poor girl. I don't know about her sometimes. She's a strange one. I love her. But she's strange. I hope everybody has a great day. I hope they have a great weekend. I will be with you on Saturday and Sunday because this is a journal type book. It does have like January 16th, January 17th, January 18th. So it is kind of a journal type thing. Unless I have to skip a day, and then I'll do 2 in one day. We'll see about it. But I don't see anything holding me back from recording. I hope everybody finds that great big belly laugh. I hope everybody finds something to be grateful for, someone to be grateful for. It's very imperative that you find that grateful heart. I hope you can be kind to someone. That kindness can be very, very addicting. It can be very addictive to be kind to someone once you've been in a bad mood for so long. And it is very satisfying to say, hey, I like your hair. I like the way you put your outfit together. I like your purse. I love purses. I am just a purse fan. There's probably so many bags and purses in this room right now. There's probably taken up so much room that I'm crowding up my space with purses and frocks. Anyway, I love your purse. I don't have a problem with it. I just love your purse. I love your hair. I love your earrings. I like those. I never would have thought to wear that makeup that way. I like the way you wear your makeup. I love your eyes. Just anything that you see that catches your eye. People love to hear that kind of thing. They do. They love to know that they're noticed. Don't you? Don't you want someone to come, hey, I love your pen. I love your jacket. I love that color. And that's your color. Think about it. If you want to hear it, doesn't somebody else want to hear it? I threw some clothes together. I had a court case one time. Just real quick, and we live in a small town. Live in a very, very small town. So the workers that work at the courthouse, they're not dressing in business casual. It's what I saw was more like jeans and t-shirts or sweaters or whatever. But I went in there, really, really dressed up, and I guess someone thought I was a lawyer. I was the lawyer everybody was looking for, and I'm like, no, I have a court case. I have a lawyer's supposed to be coming to talk to me. And they're like, well, we have it down that the lawyer has already come and we're looking for him. I'm like, no, I'm not that lawyer. So that was nice. That was just one of the nicest compliments I'd ever had. So yeah. Kindness is addictive. I promise you it is. So let's get it in our minds that we can't do things out of habit. Even if you are depressed and you are like, okay, this is what I do every day. I lay in the bed, I sulk, and I relive all the bad things. We can't do that anymore. We cannot do that out of habit anymore, because it says right there it's probably not the best. It's not the best. So let's start training our brains to think of something. Anything negative that you think two things positive. And I promise you it works. I promise you. You are talking to a lady. You are looking at a lady. You are hearing a lady that was deeply depressed for a very, very long time. 10, 15 years. And these things helped. These things really, really helped me. I had to train myself to get up and be a functional human being. For everybody involved. Because I was going to drive my spouse crazy. I was going to drive my children crazy. I was going to drive... If another cop had come to the door, I'd probably be arrested. It's not funny, but I have to laugh. I have to laugh at myself, because if I don't, I think about all the bad things, and then I go back in that bad attitude. I'm not doing that anymore. I'll say it every video. I'm not doing it anymore. I won't do it. I want to laugh. Oh, you did see my frog. I know I've worn it a couple of times, but yeah, this is an old shirt. I love frogs, and I love toads, and I love anything amphibian. I don't care. I don't care. Y'all have a nice day. Find somebody to be grateful for. Find somebody that you appreciate, and make sure you tell them. Don't assume they know. Even if it's a boss, even if it's a maid, even if it's what is it? That maintenance guy? If it's the guy that sweeps the floor and cleans the toilet. Nobody wants to clean the toilet up after you and 24 other people, but somebody's in there doing it. Did you ever think about that? No, probably not. Y'all have a good day. And I will see y'all tomorrow at day 17. And it's Reboot the Real Work is the title that we're going for. Reboot the Real Work. Wow. Okay. Day 17 tomorrow. I will see y'all then. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.